I'm Carol Ann Riddell, and welcome to Book It with CA. Best-selling author Debbie Macomber is a prolific writer with 2 new books out this year. In addition to fiction, she's also authored cookbooks, children's books, and several of her Christmas novels have been turned into movies. But all that incredible success did not come easily. In a recent interview, she told me the inspirational story of what she overcame to pursue her dream of writing. Debbie, thank you so much for your time today. It's really a thrill for me to be able to speak with you.
Oh, it's fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Good, I'm glad. So you are a hugely popular author. I read that you have something like more than 200 million copies of your books in print worldwide. I mean, wow, is that hard for you to believe some days?
Oh, definitely. Really hard to believe. You have to understand, I didn't learn to read until I was in the 5th grade.
Wow, you're kidding me.
No.
How did that come about? And then, I mean, how did you end up going from that to being such a prolific author?
I think this kind of God's joke, because I'm dyslexic. But back in the 50s, they didn't have any understanding of what it meant to have learning disabilities. And so it just took a long time for me to understand the concept of reading. I tell people who are dyslexic, especially kids that struggle with reading and math situations, is that it's really a gift, because I'm dyslexic that I am able to have this creative imagination.
So there's so much to talk about, but let's start with your new book, which is out this summer, called It's Better This Way. Tell us a little bit about the story and how the plot unfolds.
Well, the part of being having a creative mind is that where the ideas come from. And this actually came from a sermon I heard with our pastor last summer. He was talking about he had this saying, it's better this way. And he said it so often that his kids teased him and said they were going to put it on his tombstone. All of a sudden, my mind just started whirling. What would it mean to be better this way? And I started out with a couple that were older, in their 60s. And I think that was quite different for me. Sometimes stories are so strong, you live, you breathe, you eat, you think nothing about these characters. And I literally, I hate to use this word, but it's very apropos. I vomited that story. I wrote that book in a month.
It's interesting to me, the book, because it is a romance, but it's not a stereotypical romance. As you said, the 2 main characters, they're older, they're both divorced, they both have adult children, they're sort of navigating those waters. And I found that refreshing. What do you hope readers take away from that?
I think that it's real life. And that's what I do when I think about a plot. I want it to be real life. Because I'm dyslexic and because I have so many creative ideas, early on in my career, I had to decide a way to decipher which stories to create, which stories to write, because the ideas would just pop, 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 pop. So I came up with words, and there are 5 words that I gauge a story by. It has to be provocative. I want my readers to think. It has to be relevant to their lives. It has to be told in the most creative, fun way I can think to tell the story. It has to be entertaining. I'm not here to teach anybody. I barely made it through high school. And it has to be realistic. This could happen. This could actually be a plot that happens. And so if the story lines up with those 5 words, I know I've got a really good idea. And I knew it as soon as I came up with the plot idea for It's Better This Way.
I also thought it just showed you, love can happen at any age. Romance can happen at any point in your life. And I liked that takeaway from the book.
Thank you. Yeah, as I'm getting older now and I have grandkids, that, I'm thinking it's a little bit hard to write about somebody 25 falling in love,
I get it. Well, what draws you as a writer to romance? And I guess as a reader as well.
People often ask me, why do you write romance? It's what I love to read. I love happy endings. I love when people are committed to one another.
And what's your feeling about writing clean romance versus more steamy romance?
Well, I joke around and I say, I don't know that much about sex. I'm married. So, as a Christian, I didn't want to portray something that went against God's word. And that's just basically the bottom line.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. And I think there's, obviously there's different things for everyone. People are looking for different kinds of books.
Yeah. Then, it just goes, what goes behind the bedroom doors doesn't need to be displayed in infinite detail.
So you also have a book out this fall called Dear Santa, and it's the latest in your Christmas books. You've actually been described as the official storyteller of Christmas. How did you start writing Christmas themed fiction?
Oh, I just love Christmas. I have always been a real Christmas fanatic. At our home, we have 6 Christmas trees. Can you believe it?
I can't.
It just was a natural to me now to write about Christmas. And really the big boost in my career came with my Christmas books. And the story behind Dear Santa it's a great, how I got the idea for this is my husband's cousin had a granddaughter who wanted to be a writer. And so she came to my office and she was like 11 years old and just so excited about writing books someday. And so I'm talking to her and I says, well, when did you know you wanted to be a writer? And she thought about it and she went, when I started writing Santa Claus.
Huh.
And I just thought that was such a
good story.
answer. I just took the story of a heroine who's feeling kind of down on her life and her mother had saved her letters to Santa and what happens with those.
So Debbie, several of your Christmas books have been made into Hallmark movies. And, full disclosure here, my husband is addicted to those. I mean, I think we have the Hallmark channel on 24/7 starting sometime before Thanksgiving. But I'm curious, what was that like for you seeing your books be made into movies?
Oh, that's every writer's dream is to have, their books made into movies. I was able to go on the set. My children were in several scenes. They were very respectful of the plots and staying true to the storylines.
I wanted to ask that. Did the movies look on screen the way they did in your imagination?
Not always, but as my husband reminded me, it's their property. I sell it to them, the story idea, and they deal with it because they're different mediums. Books are different than movies, and he has a very succinct way of explaining things. He goes, Debbie, the check cleared, so it's theirs now.
Tell us why you love Christmas so much. Is it something from your own childhood? Is it because of your own family?
I think it's because it's such a good time of year. People are more open and generous and friendly. And the books that I have generally written are almost always romantic comedies. And the reason is I want to give my readers, because they can be stressful time too, because we all want to make the perfect Christmas, which is impossible. So they can put their feet up and read a book and escape in it and laugh and relax.
It's funny that you say that because I was thinking about that before we spoke. And I loved Christmas so much as a child. And I still love Christmas. But I do find especially I think as the mom in the family, and probably a lot of women feel the same way, it is stressful because you're working so hard to try to make the holiday meet the expectations of everyone else that you tend to get a little bit lost yourself and seeing, I guess, the real joy in sort of the smaller moments.
Yes. And it's like over so fast, they tear into the gifts and it's done.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at the tree and you think, oh, who's going to help me undecorate it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. You nailed it. That is exactly what I think. I think one of the things that your fans really count on is in your work is a happy ending. Why is that happy ending so important?
I think when a reader plucks down their hard-earned money for a book, it's an emotional investment. And I want to have the payoff there, that they can close that book and have just a good, happy feeling.
Debbie, I'd love to talk a little bit more about the writing process, because I love to understand the process of writing and how authors actually become authors. I read that you started your first book at 30 years old with 4 young children at home. I just got to ask, how did that happen and how on earth did you find the time?
Well, I think you make time for the things that you love. Now, I had always wanted to be a writer, but you remember, I barely graduated from high school. I married as a teenager, and Wayne and I had the 4 kids in 5 years. So it was, I was busy as a stay-at-home mom. And this dream just pounded in me. And the only way I can think, Caroline, to describe it is if you burn yourself, you throb with pain. But every time I thought about writing books, I throbbed with joy. There would be this happy anticipation that would come over me. With my history and so many negative things in my life, especially in school, the 3rd grade teacher told my mother, Debbie's a nice little girl, but she's never going to do well in life.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And the high school principal who asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I'm going to write books. It was the first time I'd ever told anybody I was going to write books. And she didn't say the words, but she looked at me like, Debbie, you need to think about something that's in line with your intelligence level.
Dyslexia was so misunderstood at that time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I don't blame them. Although I want to tell you that my principal did live long enough to see my first published book. So.
All right.
Yes.
That had to feel good.
So, it's very easy to stuff your dreams into the future when you have that kind of background. And it was actually a death in our family that prompted me. I had a cousin I grew up with that I was very close to that had cancer. And he was in a hospital in Seattle, and that's connected to a cancer treatment center. And I got lost in the hospital. So I asked the doctor, how do I get from here to there? He said, it's so easy. You go down the hallway, take the first right, and walk through the door marked absolutely no admittance. So and that's what we have to do when we're following our dreams. We have to follow that, walk through that door.
You mentioned the death of your cousin. So was that a particular event that propelled you to actually start?
Yes, it was a real turning point in my life when David died. God was saying, you can't stuff your dreams. If you want to be a writer, you better do it now. Life has no guarantees. If God had planted this dream in my heart, there had to be a reason. And it was up to me. It was the gift he gave me. And it was up to me what I did with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what propelled me forward.
And so you had always wanted to write, but it took that amount of time before you kind of actually decided, I'm going to sit down and just do it.
I'm going to sit down and do it. Exactly. So we rented a typewriter, put it on the kitchen table. I moved it at meal times. I started writing. I just loved it. We were a 1-income family, and Wayne was working construction, which meant we could count on him working about 9 months of the year. So it was never an easy thing to make this investment in me. And I was taking $100 a month out of our very tight budget to write. Wow. And it took me 5 years to sell that first book. It was a real investment my husband made in me.
Right. Well, what a wonderful thing that he did. And boy, he sure got a good return on it.
Yeah, he did. I can remember I sold, I'll tell you the first thing I sold, because you'll get a kick out of this. Our youngest son was in the Christmas program at church. And all he had to do was recite his Bible verse and step back, which he did flawlessly. He knew that verse. But in this moment of pure panic, he forgot the reference. And, he's 5. He's in front of the whole church. He's scared to death. And he looks at me and like, help me, Mom, help me. So I went, it's Luke. It's Luke. So Dale squares his shoulders and he goes, Luke Skywalker. So the whole church burst out laughing, and I sold that little anecdote for $5. It was validation. It was validation. I think that's something we all need to celebrate, those little steps along the way.
Yes.
And later on, I sold an article for $350, which is what my husband was bringing home a week at that time. And I remember just being so excited to show him that check.
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, honey, this is going to work out.
So what does your husband think of your success now?
Well, I think it's far and beyond anything either of us could have ever thought of or imagined. This little dream that burst inside of me. He's very proud, and he's very lucky too, because he got to retire at 50. So
And your family, your children, your grandchildren, do your grandchildren understand what you do for a living?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, they do. They understand. I think my children, especially the boys, they didn't realize I was a success until I threw out the opening pitch at the Mariners game.
Oh my gosh. What a moment that must have been.
It was a terrific moment. And I have to admit, I did not throw it from the pitcher's mound. I had to step a few feet forward.
Details.
Yeah, right.
Debbie, what is the hardest part of writing for you? And what would you say is the most fun?
Well, the most fun for me is always the plotting, because I'm a plotter. I love to plot. So the fun part for me is always the plotting. And once I've got the plot in my mind, I can write. When it comes to the writing process, I take a calendar and I write down how many pages I need to write every day. And I'm very generous with myself to make sure I meet my deadline. And I've had more opportunities as an author in the publishing world for the simple reason I meet my deadlines.
Yeah. I think everyone appreciates that, in no matter what line of work you're in. Be on time, be early.
Yes, exactly.
So what is the hardest part of writing then for you, Debbie?
The hardest part of writing right now is just finding the time to sit down and do it. I mean, I've gotten so many, I'm trying to ease into retirement. So I don't think I'll ever be able to stop writing, but I'm gonna, it's just so many other draws on my attention and time. Last week, it took until Thursday until I could sit down at the computer. It was crazy.
Do your characters, do they ever involve pieces of real people that you know, or pieces of yourself even?
Oh, I think everything that happens to me turns up in a book at one time or another. We have wine time with our neighbors once a week, and she was saying when she was a little girl, her family let her on her birthday choose wherever she wanted to have dinner, and her favorite place to have dinner, I'm not making this up, is Little Willie's Wiener Wagon. And I said, that's going in a book. That's going in a book. Little Willie's Wiener Wagon.
And does your husband ever see himself in your books?
Oh, I think he sees himself as every hero. And I let him believe it.
Well, we won't tell. You talked a little bit about where you get your ideas from, but just to follow up on that, do your ideas sort of come from everywhere?
Oh, they do. They do. It just some little snippets of conversation, a newspaper article. I wrote a whole book on just an article that was probably 20 sentences long. I mean, it was just the whole concept of it. So ideas come from everywhere. And that's really the gift God gave me, that of being a storyteller.
Is there one piece of advice that you would give to aspiring writers looking back on this success that you've had all these years?
We live in a world that everything is instant, and you just have to keep at it. You have to believe in yourself and believe that, you can do this and not give up.
Debbie, beyond your novels, you've also published cookbooks and nonfiction. How is that kind of writing different? Do you enjoy it as well?
Very different. Oh, yes. Yeah, but it's much harder for me. See, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted to get out and be part of the community, the business community. Mm-hmm. So I made a leap of faith and rented an office and hired an assistant. And this was a very big move for me. And I was making decisions I just didn't feel qualified to make. So I invited 6 women on our community who were all very successful to have tea with me. And I had a list of questions because I needed to learn from them. And they became my mentors. We met for 20 years, every Thursday for breakfast for 20 years. They all retired. I'm still the only one writing now or working. But one of the things we did was we each chose a word for the year. And so looking back on those words, I wrote a nonfiction book on one simple word. And that whole idea has just taken off.
How many books have you published total?
Boy, Caroline, that's really difficult to answer because my former publisher has taken 2 of the books that I've written and put them in one volume with a new title. So there is something like 300 titles out there, but I've written over 100 books. Yeah.
Is it hard to work on two books at the same time, or do you not do it that way?
Well, I do, but not in the composition part. I only write one book at a time. But like Dear Santa will be coming out in October, but I haven't read the page proofs yet. So
Got
the final reading, so that'll come in, and I'll have to stop the composing part of this book, which is tentatively titled Soldier Boy, and read those page proofs. So yes, I work on two books at once, but not at any composition. By the way, I think you might find it interesting. Titles are, marketing is the most most important aspect of publishing, because they come up with the titles. Everything has to go to marketing and to Salesforce about a title. And this is a great story. One time I had a book, I don't even remember the title I had for it, but my publisher didn't like it. So they went to a meeting with marketing, and they came back and they said, we've decided to title the book Susanna's Garden. And I said, that's a perfectly lovely title, except there's nobody in the book named Susanna and there's no garden.
So what happened?
I changed the heroine's name to Susanna and put in a garden.
Well, there you go. I'd love to talk a little bit about your charitable works, because, unbelievably to me, beyond all of the writing that you're doing, you're also really involved in charity, including Knit One, Bless Two, which, as I understand it, came out of your own passion for knitting. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Knitting actually saved me as a child. It really did. For whatever reason, I wanted to learn how to knit when I was about 11 years old. And I pestered my mother all one summer to take me to the yarn store. And she did. And I learned to knit. And it gave me such a badly needed self-esteem. I could do something nobody else in my class could do. It helped me with my comprehension skills. And it gave me, it just gave me such a feeling of worth that I so desperately needed. So knitting has followed me. I mean, I knit every single day. Everybody knows they're going to get something knit by me for Christmas. When we knit something for charity, it's a way of giving love. We went to Kenya with World Vision, which sponsors Knit for Kids, and Bless One, Bless Two. And we saw the joy in these children's faces. I was able to tell them every one of these sweaters, every one of these hats was knit with love for you.
What are the ways that people could get involved or support if they wanted to?
Oh, all they have to do is just go on my website. There's a link there that goes to Knit One, Bless Two, because the reason we came up with that title is, you can knit something for someone, but you're blessed also.
Yes, that's
And
right.
So yes.
And do you have readers who knit things and send them to you, or send
all
them?
the time. I bet you every week we get boxes. There's so many people that are willing and want to, and there's just such love in each one of those boxes. And it's just a way of giving back.
So I have to ask, how much yarn do you have in your house?
Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. I have more yarn than any one person could possibly knit in 2 lifetimes. I am a yarnaholic. I say that if there is a 12-step group, I would need to join it. I am Debbie and I buy yarn.
When you're not busy writing and you're not busy with all your charitable work and knitting, what do you love to do? How do you relax?
Oh, I love to cook. I'm just, my cookbooks, I tell people I always knew being a frequent eater was going to pay off, So I love to cook. I probably try 5 or 6 new recipes every single week.
Amazing. And your grandchildren, you mentioned you have grandchildren.
Yeah, 11. I also garden. I have a big, beautiful garden, and I really enjoy that.
Okay, but you had me at 11 grandchildren. So let's go back to that.
Okay.
So 11 grandchildren.
Yes. From
Wow.
ages 25 to 3.
That's something. So what is Christmas like at your house?
Oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yes. We have the big family. Well, we have big family get-togethers all the time. I mean, we just had Mother's Day, so we had the big family get-together. So we're close. We're all very close.
Oh, what a blessing that is. It
Yeah,
must
it
be a
is.
lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Everybody wants an invite to that one. Debbie, what is next for you?
Oh, I think Wayne and I had 3 cruises canceled because of the pandemic. So
Mhm.
we're really looking forward to traveling, doing some things around, getting away for a while and traveling. I still will always write. There's a magazine, it's called Welcome Home. It's a digital magazine that my staff and office and I put out. And so I'll always be contributing to that. I've been writing short stories for that, which has been kind of fun. It's very different. So
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that. So, traveling, relaxing more, getting to those projects that are piled up all the way to the ceiling in my yarn room. Yes, I have a yarn room.
I know the feeling, not of the yarn room, but of the projects piling up.
Yeah.
Debbie, thank you so much for all this time. It was so wonderful to speak to you, and what an inspiration your story is.
Oh, thank you, Carol Ann. I really enjoyed it. It was just a very easy, fun conversation. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That wraps up another chapter of Book It with CA, but we will be back again soon. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We would love to hear from you. I'm Carol Ann Riddell. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.